St Paul's Academy is sponsored by the Roman Catholic Archdiocese of Southwark. Every year we welcome 240 students, with 160 being from the Catholic/faith background and 80 from the local community, and many of those young people will be of other faiths or no faith at all. The school is very successful, and consistently students come into school at about national average and leave 5 years later at 16 with results above the national average. Our students in the main fully support us, and we have very high standards in terms of management of students, attendance, punctuality, behaviour, uniform, etc. But we also have a magnificent team of staff. Staff made up of a restaurant team, premises staff, finance and admin, learning support assistants and teachers. The recruitment of teaching staff has been a major challenge for our school, and we have spent in the last number of years a lot of time visiting universities north, south, east and west of Ireland. We have recruited many outstanding candidates, and once they've got through the professional development programme in year one, many of those young people have moved into positions of responsibility. We have provided opportunities as well for additional personal development. We have a very good link with St Mary's University in Twickenham, and many of our young staff during year 2 or year 3 commence a 2-year part-time master's degree leading innovation and change. We've also been assisted as well by an organisation called Nor Edco in Ballycastle, County Antrim, with excellent support from Fiona McGonigal and Mary Higgins, and they've introduced us to a lot of very, very good candidates. In this short video, you're going to hear from some of our young staff who started here as newly qualified teachers and have now basically worked their way through the first year into maybe year 2 and year 3, and I would have hopefully one member of staff who's now a member of the senior leadership team. And before the conclusion of our short video, we're actually going to get a couple of students to talk about the impact that young Irish teachers have had on their learning. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ciara. I work here in St Paul's Academy as a religious studies teacher. I've been working here since September 2016. I got the job initially in June 2016, a week after finishing college. I'd had a couple of phone calls between myself and Pat, the principal, who I'd met the previous March in my university, which was a great opportunity. So we'd had a couple of phone calls, a pre-interview, and then he convinced me to come over for an actual interview. Now, I was quite fortunate because I was able to come over the day before my interview, see the school, meet my RS department, get a taste of some of the classes and the lessons before I actually did my interview process, which was really smooth. I had to teach a lesson, I was observed, and then there was an official interview after that process. But everyone was really welcoming, really supportive, really friendly. Before my interview, they asked me if I needed any advice on how to teach the lesson, or they allowed me to compare to see if there's differences between how I would teach in Ireland and here, and gave me advice basically on how to do really well in the interview. So they were supportive from the very beginning. And once I got the job, I actually moved here a week later. Now, bearing in mind I'd been really conscious about moving country and had only kind of started looking at jobs over here as a backup plan. I'd been here for 2 days and knew that this is where I wanted to be. But to really help with that, I was offered to come over here for the month of July. So I was here for 4 weeks over the summer. I wasn't teaching, but I was observing other lessons, and that was a really great opportunity. So I started working then officially in September 2016 when I started teaching, but because I've been in the school, it was a really great opportunity. The NQT program that they run in this school is really, really intensive, but it's also really good. It's massively supportive. You've got your subject mentor and you've got an education mentor. So you've got 2 people that you work really closely with, and you can contact them with any questions, as well as anybody else in my department. So I work in the ORS department is really supportive. So I have weekly meetings with my mentor, and we update on any issues I have. There's massive support if you have issues with your students, your subject knowledge. Everything's really from a supportive angle. So how do we improve you? How do we make the best you can be? And how can we improve what you need to be improved? So there's great work there. So it is really difficult, but it's also really, really rewarding and totally focused on you. There is a lot of work to be done in it over here. It's slightly different work to at home, but with a big pull on sharing resources and working together and developing ideas together, even whether it's lesson plans, brainstorming ideas as a team, and then sharing resources, comparing what we've done and why it worked and why it didn't work. So it's really supportive in that manner, and that massively helps the workload. So for our GCSEs, we work a lot with the more experienced teachers to help us get where we need to be. Because I was fortunate in the year that I started, there was a lot of other NQTs as well, so there's quite a lot of people in the same boat that I'm in. And when I was here over in July, it gave me the opportunity to meet other NQTs, which I now live with. So there's 3 of us in the house who've all moved from Ireland, and that is really supportive. That has made the whole experience a lot easier, having people that you can turn to and say, well, I've had this issue and I've had this, and you think that everything's falling apart, but actually other people are going through the same things as you are. So there's great scope and opportunity to talk things through like that. And then the social aspect of the school as well, we're very close-knit schools, so there's opportunity to go out on weekends, you know, go into London. There's loads of different elements. It's not all just working in the school, there's sporting opportunities as well if you're into sports. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Alan Grogan. I'm a teacher of maths in St Paul's Academy. I originally qualified as a woodwork and technical graphics teacher in UL in 2013, but unfortunately at the end of August that summer I had no work at home, and after receiving a phone call from Pat Winston, the head teacher here at St Paul's, I decided to come over and give teaching maths a go in Greenwich. 4 years later, I'm still teaching maths, but I've had a fantastic time, and I've been fortunate enough to be on the receiving end of some fantastic opportunities here in the school. After I finished my NQT year, I was offered a post as assistant RSL, which in terms of Irish education would be assistant head of year. In the second year, I became co-head of year, and this year I became the lead head of year for year 9. So I've worked with the same year group up from year 7, 8 and 9. After I finished my NQT year, I started my master's degree, which is held in the school through St Mary's University on a fortnightly basis. It was a 2-year programme which the school paid for, which was a fantastic bonus, and has given me fantastic opportunities hopefully going forward. And even in the short time of starting that, I've seen opportunities open up within the school because of the degree. The first and most challenging thing I faced coming to London was it felt like a very daunting experience coming from rural Ireland, rural Roscommon in particular. It was very different. The school is excellent at looking after young staff members coming from Ireland. I was placed with a family who were friends with a colleague here in the school who I was meant to stay with for 3 weeks. I actually ended up staying for 6 months. I still stay in contact with them, and I often get a message on a weekday to call in for dinner on my way home, or to go to a football match with them, or whatever it is. So it's fantastic the way that you're looked after here in the school. I think London life in general is a very scary thought for most Irish people, as it's 2-3 times the size of Dublin, if not bigger. But once you get here, you settle in and you get over that initial kind of 5-6 month period, you really do start to enjoy it. There's always something to do. The best thing I could say to you is get involved in something. Get involved in the GEA if that's what you're into. I've got involved with Dulwich Hearts Gaelic Football Club. I'm actually the manager of the adult men's team. Unfortunately I can't play football anymore, so I decided to still get involved in some way. And I know that on a Thursday, Tuesday, Saturday afternoon, I'm going to meet 30 people that I have something in common with, and who are all there and want to enjoy the bit of football and have a social life afterwards.
Hi, I'm Ciara Hessian. I'm a science teacher at St Paul's Academy. This is my 2nd year teaching here. I started in September 2015, so straight after I finished college I came over here to teach. I got the job through a recruitment agency, so I met them at the teaching fair in UL, and they got me in touch with Pat and got the ball rolling from there. So I have a great time in St Paul's. What else? So I did my NQT year last year, so that's a newly qualified teacher induction year, and that will tick that box for the teaching council that you'll have all your workshop hours done. So you do those every 2nd or 3rd Tuesday. You'll have like workshops and meetings. They're all kind of to do with teaching and learning. So one might be about SEN, another might be about assessment for learning. There's loads of different ones. They're all really helpful, and they're all given by different members of staff, which is really useful. And then you'll also get your 300 hours done because you're full-time teaching position over here. So that'll do you for your teaching council induction year. The NQT year is tough. definitely won't lie about that. It is tough, you have observations, but it's so worthwhile. I definitely recommend that you do that. It's, especially my first year out teaching, I really needed that support. It would be so difficult to come over and just be kind of thrown in the deep end and not have anyone to help you out. You're assigned a mentor and the mentors are brilliant. You have a weekly meeting and you kind of have different things you need to get through, and anything you're worried about, you can go to them. Any resources you need, go to them. They're so helpful. I can't speak highly enough of them. My mentor has helped me out so much. And it's just that extra bit of fallback. You have someone to go to if you're stuck, as well as your heads of learning zone and the other members of staff. You have someone that's assigned to you to help you out. You are observed, and it's painful getting observed, especially after doing teaching practice and stuff in college. But again, you're getting feedback, and it's all helping your learning. It's all to give you ideas and get better with your teaching. What else? So my second year, like the NQT year has really stood to me. I feel so much more comfortable with the course now. I know exactly what I should be teaching, what the exams are like, what to expect from my students. The second year is just so much easier planning wise. It's still tough, it's still challenging, but definitely planning wise is so much easier, and you just kind of, you're into the role a little bit more. You know your students. I carried all of my classes forward, so I know all my students really well. They know me, and straight away in September it was just starting straight off. I didn't have to get to know anyone. It was really positive. Living in London is brilliant. I love this city. There's always something to do, always things going on. You're not that far away from the city, but you're out of the city far enough that you're not caught up in all that craziness. It's a nice kind of area to live in. The areas nearby are lovely. There's always something going on. There's always someone to do something with. One of the big things I was really worried about before I moved over was that I would be lonely over here, because I came over on my own. I didn't come over with a group of friends, and I'm definitely not lonely. There's so many Irish here. We're all like a big family, big community. We all look after each other. There's always someone to go out with, someone to have a drink with. It's just really nice, and other Irish people, they get you, they get where you're coming from, they get your experience, and you can go to them and everyone will help you out. So, brilliant. I would definitely recommend coming to St. Paul's.
Hello, I'm Stephen.
I'm Verona.
I'm Laura.
And we're going to talk to you about how Irish teachers have been very helpful, especially since we've been year 7 to year 11, because we are currently year 11. Laura?
I think that Irish teachers are very, very helpful, and they're willing to like spend time with you before school and after school, even though they don't get paid, and just want you to achieve the grades that you want to get.
And the dedication of the Irish teachers is great. Like, I've never seen it with all of them. Always looking for the best.
Yeah, they
always
take a personal approach to you. They make sure that you succeed in all that you do, and it makes you feel like you're part of what they want you to achieve.
Yeah.
And the personal approach thing, I agree, because like you feel, you forget, sometimes you just forget that teacher to student kind of bond. It's more like friend to friend.
Yeah.
So that makes learning much more fun and enjoyable.
And they're extremely like motivating and very, very organised, ensuring that we cover as much as we can, and like we're prepared before an exam.
And not even just academically, like considering they're from Ireland, there's a lot of Irish teachers in our school. So I feel like if I was to go to any other school, because of such the large percentage, I know more about Ireland than like most people do.
And it's like, it's a bit weird, like now that we're going off to sixth form, and most sixth forms are like,
you don't have the same bond. You're just gonna lose the connection.
I think Irish teachers, like they are very friendly. Very friendly. So that connection, when we do go to sixth form, we're not going to feel that connection. It's going to be
it's not going to be the same.
Now we're just so comfortable with them.
It's like your friends, like just separated from your friends.
And then once again, it makes learning so much more fun.
Your learning
they do
becomes
make fun. They make learning really, really fun.
I don't think teachers should be worried about coming to London. Teaching.
London isn't as bad as it may seem, or what it's perceived as.
quite a few students in London are like willing to.
Maybe quite a few, a lot.
Well,
of
a lot of them are willing to like learn new things and find out about like the culture of like
Yes,
Irish people.
it's diverse.
Yeah, very
The
diverse.
media creates something like that. They're
Yeah.
very deceptive.
Yeah, everything that you see on TV is
It's
it's
not
not
true,
exactly.
yeah.
It's not true.
Because we do have brainiacs here. We do have people who are willing, people who are motivated,
Yeah.
people who have the right priorities,
And
morals and things like that.
yeah, and London's culturally like diverse
Yeah.
anyway. So like.
Yeah.
And considering we're in South East London, there's always that stereotype that all of us are, bad people. There's a lot of negativity around us, but as a school, we've proved